as you guys know, we are right around the corner from SummerSlam 2025. And I have one huge prediction that I think is going to happen. I've been talking about it for about 2 weeks now. And if this happens, I'm going to be super excited. If this doesn't happen, I won't be pissed about it, but it will be a letdown, and I'm sure it will probably happen later on this year. But I really want this, what I'm about to say, to happen at SummerSlam. But let's get into it. So as you guys have noticed, we've been seeing, and as you guys have noticed, the thumbnail for this picture, I believe that the Hardy Boys will make a return very, very, very soon. And I'm thinking it's going to be SummerSlam because they're building up to it. At least what it feels like on the outside of everything. They've been doing a lot more podcasts. They've been doing a lot more autograph signings. They're kind of just, I don't know if you guys watch like any like big celebrities like in the mainstream media, where if there's a book coming out or there's an album dropping or a movie release, they start going on these interview tours on YouTube or, doing all this stuff because they're announcing that something big is about to go down, right? That's kind of what the Hardy Boys are doing right now. They've been on like 5 different podcasts in the last 2 weeks. And that's not normal, especially with the fact that they've been fighting for years without like nonstop. So it's not like it's not like a Goldberg move where these guys have been out for years and they're just going to come back. They don't necessarily need to do all these interviews and stuff because they fight all the time. But not on WWE. And with their age and what they've been and with where they are in their career, I think that we're coming to a point where the Hardy Boys are starting to land the plane. And what better place to land the plane than SummerSlam? What better place to start this process of retirement with SummerSlam to WrestleMania? This is where it all started. SummerSlam is where their first really big, well, not their first really big, but one of their first really big ladder matches happened with Edge and Christian and all those guys. And then to finish it off at WrestleMania, I think it'd be great. What the tag division sucks right now. They could be literal saviors to the tag division. And not only that, I think there's some huge matches that the Hardy Boys could bring to the WWE that we simply have not seen and never thought we would see, but potentially could see. And the match that I think that we all want to see would be the match of the GOATs, right? The Hardys versus the Usos at WrestleMania. What bigger tag team match could we get than that? And I think that that's what needs to happen. Now, granted, if they win, the issue is, if they win, how do we release the titles? So does that mean that they get the titles when they get here? And then they hold the titles until then, and then the Usos beat them, which would say that the Usos are better than the Hardys, which I don't agree with, but I guess you gotta go out, right? Or is it the other way around? Does right now Jay didn't have the title. Jimmy's fighting with Jacob. Could we see a reunion between Jimmy and Jay at SummerSlam and have these guys get the titles, defeat the Street Profits or whoever they have to defeat, and hold the titles until WrestleMania and the Hardy Boys win? But then what does that do? Like, this is where I'm kind of getting a little tied up. But I think it's going to happen. I genuinely think that the Hardy Boys are going to return very, 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 very soon. Because it only makes sense, right? Could we potentially get a return from Edge and Christian? Possibly. Both of these guys are, still active. Edge is going as, Adam Copeland or whatever with AEW. You got Christian with AEW. Or TNA or wherever he is. I think that they both could, switch over, and I don't see why not, especially to wrap up their career. I mean, they're all at that weird age where they all could, I think, come back and give a great match. I think they all could come back to WWE and, you know, have a one last hurrah. And I think that people would love to see it. One last TLC match with Edge and Christian, Jeff and Matt Hardy, and the Usos. Because obviously Devon and Bubba they might be a little bit out of being active. I don't think that those two guys are going to come back, but they could. They literally could. It could be a fatal four-way tag team TLC match with those four. That's what I would put together if I was a writer on WWE. I don't know how I'd make it happen, but that would be my goal for WrestleMania 42 is to make that match happen, because that's what people want to see. And then I would have all those guys go into retirement. That would be it. That would be the last hurrah. And honestly, that would probably be one of the best matches on WrestleMania in a long time, because those four tag teams are just, you know, they just know how to put a match together. But yeah, I think I am truly at a point right now where I believe that Jeff and Matt Hardy will be returning very soon to the WWE. Obviously, with them being on TNA, they just had the titles. They don't have the titles anymore, so there's no reason for them not to be able to switch over. That weird merger thing that we have going on right now between WWE and TNA is weird in itself, but it's allowing guys to cross over and do what they need to do. So I don't see why it couldn't happen, and hopefully it does. And so I wanted to hop on this video just to say that my predictions for SummerSlam right now, as of right now, is that Jeff and Matt Hardy will be returning to the WWE at SummerSlam this year to start their retirement tour. We'll see what happens.